This is Mordecai, and I'm back here at the Once Ballroom with the one and only GosT. How are you doing today, sir?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
How's the tour been treating you so far?
It's been very good.
Good. How's your leg feeling from the incident that happened a little while ago?
It's getting better. I'm going to have to get surgery after this tour, so we'll see how that goes.
All right, well, good luck with that end. Starting out from the beginning, going way, way back, you said that one of your earliest inspirations stemmed from your love of Kiss that started when you were a kid. Do you remember how you initially became exposed to them?
Yeah, we actually had a Kiss pinball machine at my house, and then just MTV, seeing them on MTV. So,
do you still have the pinball machine, or do your parents still have it?
I still have it, yeah.
You still have it?
Yeah.
What would you say is the best Kiss record in your opinion?
I don't know, dude. Is Love Gun on record? Is that the title of that record?
I can't say. I'm not that familiar with the
Me
discography
either.
overall.
I just like the look, man. I never really was super into the band. I was like 5. I was just like really into the look and the ridiculousness of it. So, I mean, I like a few of their songs, but yeah, I don't know what my favorite record would be.
And then you also said that your father was close to a couple of popular country artists, and getting to meet some of them made a huge impact on you. Was there any artist in particular that made a significantly stronger impression on you than the rest?
Oh, let me see if I can remember this chick's name. Well, one dude's name was Johnny Rodriguez. He was he had a couple number ones back in, I think, the late 80s. He was just a really chill dude. He came and picked me up from school one time in a limo, and I got to see, go backstage and see all that behind the scenes stuff, and that definitely, made a lasting impression. It looked really fun when I was like 8, but yeah.
Your musical background began in metal, and you were in a couple of bands before moving to synthwave. What was the catalyst that made you decide it was time for a change of scenery?
I really just wanted to start creating music more on my own and not having to bounce ideas off of and compromise with other band members. So yeah, just wanted complete control mainly.
And before you began making music as GosT, you had another rather short-lived synthwave act as Night Runner, where your sound was more on the lighter side. What made you decide to abandon it and go for a darker sound?
I just wasn't really feeling it, man. It's hard to explain why. I don't remember why I quit that. I think I just felt kind of cringy or something.
A lot of your work over the past few years, especially your last 2 albums, have had Christian theology as one of the main points of focus. When did your interest in the subject first begin?
Well, I was raised as a Methodist as a child, so once I, came to my own conclusions about religion and realized the hypocrisy that surrounds a lot of religion, I mean, that's when I became really interested in the theology and everything. I think it's really interesting to look at how theology, how religious people don't understand their own theology in a lot of cases. So I really enjoy turning that around on people, making them actually think about the shit they believe in. So.
And on your old Bandcamp page, there's a passage from the Bible, Judges 8:33, where your character Balbereth is mentioned. When did you first come across this, and what made you want to do more research on this character?
I just started looking, because I came up with the idea for the project to be a demon, and I just started looking at the main princes of hell demons and their characteristics and what they were good at, and he's like a good demon. He can't lie. But he also tempts man into doing bad shit to get back at God. But yeah, he makes gold out of shit.
He's an alchemist.
Yeah. So I just really like that, and some of the passages, especially that passage you're referring to, it just sounds really cool. And actually, where the original God that they demonize, the Catholic Church demonized, comes from is I think it's Canaanite. It's a very ancient city. Some of it still remains, but it's in the Middle East. But the civilization around that was really interesting because it's old as shit and they don't know very much about it. But they do know that the Catholic Church destroyed it and took their religion and made them be Christians. So, yeah.
It also says on your Bandcamp that you were located in a real city called Hell, Michigan. Did you ever actually live there, or was that just for aesthetic?
That was just the only hell I could find that Bandcamp would accept, yeah.
Oh, they don't accept fake places on there?
You have to put an actual spot, yeah.
An oddity in your discography is the Werewolf EP Nocturnal Shift, which was also on a Bandcamp for Werkstatt Recordings. How did you get involved with that label?
I think he just hit me up, and I think he just liked the music and was like, I think he did a CD or something, so it's just that as simple as that. I think he just emailed me.
Are they still getting other artists on board to release their stuff on their page still, or?
I think so, yeah. I think that dude's probably the lifer. He's like really into synth music, not just synthwave. So I mean, he releases hundreds of stuff a year, as far as I can tell. It's just if you go to their Bandcamp, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I think so.
One of your earliest exposures on a big scale was when you had some of your work featured in the Watch Dogs game. How did they get in touch with you?
They same way Works that did it. Just they reached out through email. It was random. I had to fact check to make sure it was real because that was really early on. Nothing was really coming my way. So yeah, I was really surprised. But yeah, he's just one of their talent marketers reached out on email. Said that I think they found it on SoundCloud.
Did you ever get to try the game or the sequel, or?
I played it until it started getting kind of hard, and I was like, nah. I'm not really that much of a gamer because I get pissed off at them, and I don't. It should be fun, I think, and not something that you hate yourself because of.
Do you have any favorite games?
When I was a kid, I really liked Mortal Kombat and like F-Zero. Yeah, and the original Super Mario Brothers was pretty tight when I was young. So.
They kind of have kind of dumbed down Mortal Kombat. Did you hear about the thing they did with the last game where they had the easy fatalities?
Oh, no.
Where you could pay like $5 and just push a button and do the fatality automatically.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I might actually be into that.
And then on your self-titled EP, there's a picture of Anton LaVey's house, who was the founder of the Church of Satan. How did you come across his teachings?
I mean, it's obvious once you get into demonology and shit like that. That's like some of the first shit that pops up when you're searching on the internet. And I was just looking for that image. I was just looking for a really stark, creepy image, and I think it's pretty stark and creepy.
Is that house still standing, or did it get torn down?
I think it's still standing, but it's not black anymore, as far as I know. It may be torn down. I can't remember.
Probably not the best site for people trying to sell houses in that neighborhood.
I don't think you can resell a black house very well either.
You stated that while Behemoth wasn't exactly a concept album, when you were writing the material, you had the idea of Lucifer rising through God's ranks and kind of becoming dissatisfied with the way heaven was being run, going through your mind during your creative process. Now that Non-Paradisi has been released, has Behemoth sort of evolved over the years into a sort of personal interpretation of what a prologue to Paradise Lost would be like?
No, man, Behemoth was just actually a collection of songs I had written, and that when I hooked up with Blood Music, I sent him, I think, like six or seven of them, and he was like, we can work with this, just write a few more. So really, they're not connected at all. But yeah, that's just all that was, just a collection of songs. So they weren't written in any order or anything. We just put them in the order that ended up being on the CD. But yeah.
And one of the tracks off of Behemoth, Genesee Avenue, stems from A Nightmare on Elm Street, as that's the actual address of the house used for Nancy Thompson's home. What is it about that film that struck such a chord with you?
I think I was only like 5 or 6 when that came out, and I wasn't supposed to watch it, but my brother let me watch it, and it was terrifying at that age. So it just once I got to an age where I could watch it and enjoy it, it's just one of my favorite films. I think it's cheesy, but the parts that are done well are done like really well. Like the scene where what's the first girl murder? I can't think.
Heather?
No. I can't remember her name, but when he's like got her on the ceiling, you can't see her.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty sick. So yeah, it's just because being young, I mean, that movie scared the fuck out of me when I was 6, 5, whatever it was.
I'm sure you're none too pleased about them trying to do yet another remake.
They're doing another one?
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, the second this past remake, it wasn't that great either. I didn't think it's weird what they do with horror movies now. I think they try to make them too scary and to an effect. You know what I mean? Like
too self-serious.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, they take themselves too seriously. So there's not any cheese anymore. I mean,
there's no levity to it.
Yeah.
In retelling the 9th and 10th chapters of Paradise Lost, in Non-Paradisi, were there any points in the novel that proved particularly difficult in translating into song form?
No, man, because just reading the book, it's just, I have that inspiration in my head and certain things stood out. So it wasn't really, it's hard to say that I was translating the actual text into songs. It was more of just using that as inspiration to make the music, sound like what I would think, a fucking Hellchoir would sound like, or something, after the fall and everything. And so, yeah, it wasn't like, it's not a direct translation. It's definitely just more of an influence on the release itself.
Your wife debuted on the track Aggrandizement, and you stated that you were looking to release some solo work under the name that she picked, Bitchcraft. Is there any progress on that front?
We've worked a little bit. I've just been so busy with touring that it's been really, really slow. And she's also, she owns her own business, and so finding time in between that, it's just been really difficult. So we've got a couple songs written, but nothing's ready for release yet. Hopefully, maybe later next year, I can start to get some time off and put that together with her. It'd be amazing. We had a blast doing that song together. So.
On a side note, I heard a rumor that there was at some point supposed to be a GosT comic in the works, but it kind of fell through. Is that true?
Yeah, it was true, but I don't even remember why it fell through. There was also talk of an action figure. But I think it was just like big dreams with, little validity behind them. Like, I think people have big ideas, and then when it gets down to like actual money, it's like, maybe not. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to, like, if you're not in that industry, really. It was basically a dude that knew a comic book writer artist, and he was trying to get that guy involved, and that guy was just not into it. And the dude himself that was trying to bridge that collaboration didn't have enough funds to fund the project, so it just kind of fell through.
Would you have been involved in the writing at all? Like, did you have a story in mind that you wanted to tell?
I would have for sure been involved. I think they were going to do most of the writing, but I was going to definitely have my, like edits and shit to make sure it was, in the vein that I want the project to be in.
And lastly, you recently announced you'll be coming out with a new album early next year. Is there any info you can divulge just yet on that?
The title's Possessor. It's based on like possession and 80s satanic panic, because I think that shit's hilarious. And we're shooting for early March, I believe, for release.
That about does it for me. Anything else you want to add?
No, man, it's good to meet you. Thanks for coming out.
Good to meet you as well. Can't wait to see you tonight.
Right on.
All right. Thank you very much.